Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Private Sanctum.
This is a wizard spell only. 4th level. It is Abjuration, cast time of 10 minutes, range of 120 feet, duration 24 hours, with the components of aromatic material, the material being a thin sheet of lead, a piece of opaque glass, a wad of cotton or cloth, and powdered chrysolite? Is that how we say that?
Maybe.
Sure. I don't know. Is it real? Probably. You can make an area within range magically secure. The area is a cube that can be as small as 5 feet to as large as 100 feet on each side. The spell lasts for the duration or until you use an action to dismiss it. And again, it takes 10 minutes to cast. When you cast the spell, you decide what sort of security the spell provides, choosing any or all the following features. And security is a very generous word for what this gives. Sound can't pass through the barrier at the edge of the warded area. The barrier of the warded area appears dark and foggy, preventing vision, including dark vision through it. Sensors created by divination spells can't appear inside the protected area or pass through the barrier as its perimeter. Creatures in the area can't be targeted by divination spells. Nothing can teleport in or out of the warded area, and planar travel is blocked within the warded area. Casting the spell in the same spot every day makes it permanent. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a 5th level or higher slot, you can increase the size by 100 feet. Thus, you can protect a cube that's 200 feet by using a 5th level slot instead of a 4th level slot. Mechanically,
maybe that happens.
when or what are you doing casting the spell?
I don't know.
Make sense.
It feels like one of those anti-scrying kind of things. All right, I mean, I get that. There's the protection from divination. We've got like non-detection, which I know you're not a fan of.
Hot trash.
Not really either. However, this does fix the little thing where, all right, they can't spy on you, they can spy on your friend there. If everybody's in your little sanctum, then that's something, I guess.
They can't spy on your little sanctum, but they can spy 5 feet outside your little sanctum, for what that's worth, right? So there's still a little bit of that issue, but definitely it's a far less.
But if they know where your sanctum is.
Great point. Or if they catch you while you're casting it.
Yeah. Still not thrilled about this. I don't play in a lot of games where divination like that comes into play a whole lot.
It isn't a particularly fun mechanic, and a lot of tables don't see value in it, so they don't do it. It's not exciting. It's not flashy. It's not, action movie-esque. No one's like, you know what I really want to watch in the movies? I want to watch our heroes spy on and just stare at the Lich as he takes a dump. Like, no one wants these.
That's different, though. At least the player is doing something, and the DM can give information on that. Now, when the DM is using it, like for monsters or liches or something on the party, like that's happening off screen. That's and he can just make up when that happens,
Yeah, like you have to hit the window after 10 minutes and then having a day to know when you're going to be divined for this to matter. So you would know in advance, we have a big important meeting of clans. We've got, the leaders of these different groups. We want this all to be done without prying eyes. All right, Private Sanctum, let's do it. You know what you do for that exact moment, Bob? You get a spell scroll, because you should never be putting this sheet on, or this crap on your sheet ever again, otherwise.
I like this shit on your sheet.
Kind of, we're deep enough in the video. I'm allowed to swear a little bit now, right? Right.
Yeah.
This basically, so silence is a 2nd level spell, and that's what the first line of text is. Darkness is a 2nd level spell, and that's basically what the 2nd line of text is. So you're like, okay, this is 2 2nd level spells kind of intertwined that has a 10-minute cast time, and the rest of it's non-detection, which is another 3rd level spell that's, again, cheaper than this. Like, hypothetically, the planar travel blocking could it ever matter? Maybe you restrain, like, a fae, and you'd be like, surprise! I got 10 minutes on you and cast this sanctuary, now you can't leave.
Yeah, but they can leave mundanely and then teleport away.
Yeah. So you have to, like, tackle the fae in the warded area without it knowing the area is warded, and then you kind of, like, set a trap for it, and that's really cute and very Scooby-Doo, and if you want to do that, I'm all for it, but again, for the same reason, like, Magic Circle isn't very good, this is something that happens, like, in ones of encounters per, like, less than once per campaign, right? That's like you plan the one encounter to catch the one extra planar being with this tool, when you could have just, like, I don't know, done anything else to get the information you're looking for, or to get the spell effects you're looking for, go to its native plane so it can't plane travel away from you or something. I don't know. This seems like so many hoops jump through for a very niche effect. And that niche effect could be fun for, again, its own kind of encounter, but like that setup is so crazy. Most tables have nothing to do with this.
You want to hear a crazier setup I just thought of? All right. You're sneaking up on the Lich's lair very slowly.
This is gonna be another one of those ones where you hide behind the throne and you spend 10 minutes casting Private Sanctum.
No, you got to get there because he's divining all around in his area there. So you got to be outside of that, and you have to sneak forward 100 feet per day.
So much worse than I was thinking.
And hope that he doesn't look out the window.
Yeah. While you snail your way forward.
Yeah. He might not see you, but he'll definitely see that cloudy cube.
Yeah. I was thinking like it's the Strahd moment where you're setting up a glyph of warding underneath his chair and you just like distract him. Just get him out of the house for 24 hours and I'll get it set up. This seems close to unusably bad to me.
Yeah, so I don't give a crap about the divination stuff. Maybe I should. I don't know.
I don't think you should. I don't think anyone does.
So, and yeah, the teleporting stuff also, if they can just walk outside the cube, that's not an issue.
100 feet is a decent size at least. So like if you can just somehow goad it into the space, maybe that's how it's good. But the 10-minute cast time makes the anti-teleportation seem so bad. Like how do you get something into this is my first question. And I don't have a good answer to that question to make the other effects relevant, right?
Cookies.
Hansel and Gretel style. Little candy crumbs, trail of goodness that they can come to your cottage and you can trap them in it. I will give it this as a tool for DMs to use to put limitations on spaces. I think it's kind of interesting. I like that this, you can very clearly have someone set up a permanent magic sanctum on the sector so it cannot be teleported into by Misty Step and Dimension Door, right? And you have to figure out other ways to get up to the space and get into it or whatever. As a DM tool, it's great. You could also just as a DM say no one can teleport into this specific circle because magic, and that's going to be about as effective as a solution. But there are tables that do want a codified game language way of saying this is a real thing in the game that I'm using against my players. It's fair because it's in the PHP. And if I'm largely the opinion that if you have to find it's fair because it's in the PHP, you just need a little bit more practice in messing around and pushing and finding where your players' specifically boundaries are as far as their power level. Like what can they accomplish? What feels unfair to them? What feels like fun and where they want to be as terms as like difficulty. That's where I would kind of advocate growing as a DM is to steer away from needing to find codified game language to tell you what you can and can't do as far as like being a good DM.
Right,
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. If you're not using any of the fog or whatever, this is invisible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a place to start. You again it goes back to glyph of warding and all that where you're usually the aggressor invading an area, not defending a place. But in that situation, an enemy spellcaster really likes to use banishment. So you fight him on your ground. This blocks planar travel. You can't be banished. He wastes
in the niche case, you've got a villain that really likes casting banishment, and you can get them into your 100-foot cube area.
Yeah.
This feels like one of those, the climax of the action movie where the heroes are clearly losing, but there was that one flashback scene where they planned something and the audience doesn't know what it is, and then it gets to the climactic moment and all of a sudden everything just works out because they had a plan and the contingency worked out, which is kind of like exactly what happened in the Dungeons and Dragons movie whenever the little girl appears with the invisibility ring. This is that, right? This is but we got you, big bad. We knew you were going to try to do some teleporting nonsense, so we set up a private sanctum, whereas in the D&D movie we slipped a magic non-ring on you and you can't cast your spells anymore. It feels like that's all that is. And it's a plot tool. And it's a plot tool for narratives that isn't even that good of a plot. Like it's really cheesy and it doesn't feel great when it isn't set up well. So you want to set it up well. But as far as like a gameplay piece goes, that's crap.
Thanks, Sam. My best effort. Uh,
Make a better effort, Bob.
I'm trying.
You're right.
Anything? All right. Sound can't pass through the barrier at the edges
Silence.
of the wall. Yeah. What are you doing with that?
You casting silence instead. So
No.
I'm
But I'm
breaking
saying,
into
like,
places.
this is less than silence because no, this is not silence because anyone on either side can still cast a spell. It
True.
just no sound. I can't hear you casting it.
So it's worse than silence.
Yeah, this does nothing that silence does except make me unable to hear you on
So
the
like
other side of the wall.
again, that would be like maybe diplomacy, maybe really heavy intrigue games where you got like a very important meeting. That seems like I don't want this for that. Just
No.
silence where the sound would pass through, and you got a little echo chamber. That's a lot better than this.
Oh, all right. Use this before you cast a knock spell. Huh?
I feel like we had this conversation before, and that the
I've
answer to that
never
question
talked
was
about
it doesn't
Private
work.
Sanctum in my life before.
Silence relevant to this. So with knock specifically, if the when you cast spell it would work. It would work with silencing a knock, but so would silence. So
All right, yeah.
Oh no, that's not true because you can't cast spells in the area of silence.
Yeah.
But you can target things in the area of silence, so it does still work. Never mind, because you just target the knock on the silenced circle where the sound is made from.
Okay. But
because it emits from the object, and if the object's in the bubble,
okay, that was
silence.
the question.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah,
all right.
never mind.
This is
That's not a
an
good use
exciting
case
feature.
for this.
Okay.
For how many words are here? You think some of them would be relevant, but they're
Yeah.
all just like really convoluted. Like to get it again, to make it the encounter with the spell fun, you have to jump through so many hoops. I do love jumping through all those hoops. I want it to be clear. I love doing this kind of thing. I love setting up the specific box that we have to get that thing to want to come into. We want the pit fiend to come into this box so it can't leave. I love that kind of encounter. I'm not putting this on my character sheet though, because I want to have a spell scroll to do this. I don't want to have to like let it waste, just burn a hole in my book for no good reason.
All right. I want to cover the darkness. Okay. Barrier appears dark and foggy, preventing vision. What are we doing with that?
Blind sight gets you a improved parity of it. So like if we assume it's heavily obscured and we assume it's not just magical darkness, so devil sight can't see through it conceivably because it's also foggy, this is like the most opaque space you can get. So if you can get blind sight or true sight, then you can have advantage on all your attack rolls, and things that don't have advantage on all their attack rolls. It's like a magic darkness. If
you're setting it up 10 minutes before a fight and people choose to come into your weird foggy cube, that's is that what it's for? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what anybody would want to do sitting in a foggy cube. Maybe you're a shy pooper.
I could definitely envision a wizard having this kind of private sanctum set up, right?
That's
like
private
for pooping
sanctum.
specifically.
Maybe that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Pooping. you do not want to be divined during that time.
That's a really good point. It can cover the whole bathroom. It'll cover most of the house.
I think we found what the spell is for.
It's for pooping in private.
Yeah.
So you do want this. So you want this shit on your sheet so you can shit in peace. Yes. Is what we've come around to figure out.
All right.
You don't want the spell. The spell's really bad. It's a 1 out of 5. I think this is complete utter trash.
Yeah, I think so too. If the best use we could find for it was pooping. Yeah, 1 out of 5. I mean, like, if I was able to cast this spell, I would appreciate it, but not in D&D.
It takes 10 minutes. You would have said 10 minutes for any of this in real life? Like you could just turn the lights out. Close your blinds, right?
If I eat a bunch of tacos, like I think I got a window. I can make it.
Specifically so sound doesn't escape in that window.
Yes. They should have added a smell too.
Yeah, you can still. Oh man, this isn't even that good for pooping anymore.
Come on, wizards.
What is this? What are we doing? We spent like 20 minutes talking about pooping in Private Sanctum.
This is the Caverns and Creatures channel. This is what people expect.
That's a good point.
They're probably let down by a lot of our more serious conversations.
Let's have more of these then. These are fun.
Yeah. All right, that was Private Sanctum. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Like and subscribe, and we'll try and give you more poop. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it, a gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of The Spell, and other fun things.